Morning, everyone. Happy Monday to you. Market just opened. Been open about 4 or 5 minutes now. Had to restart my restream that I used to stream this for some reason. Sometimes it tends to lock things up. But let's jump on real quick onto Twitter. Make sure everyone can hear me over there. Make sure people can. Okay, looks like people can hear me over there. Let me drop a little GM for good morning. I always do to get the chat started. Make sure that's working. Yeah, so markets open. The interesting weekend. Lot of back and forth misinformation around this whole JD Vance and then the negotiating team over there with Iran. A whole weekend of lies and misreporting and everything. Even last night, the market, so though the Bitcoin was doing okay through it all through the weekend. And like I say, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But futures were looking like they were really going to open up really, really bad. But then they turned green this morning. And then right now, looks like NASDAQ is down 0.12. Dow is up 0.46. S&P is 0.21. So not too bad. Not great, not horrible. JD Vance made a statement this morning, I think kind of calm markets. Interesting. Let's look here. Looks like gold is down 1%. Crude is down 2%. They even kept reporting that the Straits of Hormuz were closed again. And you really can't believe anything you hear, to be honest with you. You just kind of keep an eye on the prices and stuff and try and see how it happens there. But I was interested. Okay, let's look at wondering about SpaceX. I haven't heard anything SpaceX in like 4 or 5 days. Of course, other stuff taking over the news, but I just wanted to pull that up to see where it's at. Looks like it's about 173.29. Hey, Steph, GM, Mr. Heine from the Heine community, Steph as well, their TA guy. Happy Monday to you guys. Markets opened up flat to up a little bit. I thought I'd pull up SpaceX 172.80, man, down 6.67%. This was like 215, 220. I think opened up about 10 days now because it opened a week ago. So anyway, that interesting, kind of settling in, not too surprising. But I was also at STRC wondering where Stretch opened up today. Stretch is, of course, there it is, Strategy. They're one where they pay. Let's see what that opens up at, because that was a lot of FUD last week. A lot of doing a little better, and there is some Michael Saylor news today. Oh, hey, Scott, GM. Scott, you guys had a great show this morning. Started out with, I guess, not too great, but for Scott, had some guests with a big dog at his house and didn't have too much respect for the office. We'll leave it at that, but had a good space nonetheless. Yeah, so it looks like Stretch come back a little bit, up almost 3% from where it closed. Like I say, there is some Saylor news we'll talk about. But looking at 90, 91 and 100 is where they'll start buying more Bitcoin again. So let's take a look over at Bitcoin. We were over 65 this morning. Right for market now, we're well over 65. So crypto's actually bounced pretty well. Geez, 1.9% up and 0.3%. Look at that on the hourly. We'll see that. Yeah, we were down. Look at the daily. You can see we were way down at 60, low 63s. Man, so we've jumped $2,000 since last night. So up 2%. I'll take that. And really nice. I wasn't expecting quite that big of a jump. Tether. Yeah, a lot of good that does us. I think we're looking for Ethereum. 1775, back to almost the founding of America, 1776. 250 years this year. Anyway, yeah, up 3%. Nice jump. You know, I kind of been rethinking my perspective on Ethereum a little bit. I haven't owned Ethereum for a while. I'm obviously much more bullish on Solana. I think it's getting more adoption and stuff, but there's still a lot of people are going to use Ethereum. And I was really just thinking about Tom Lee and what, how we're kind of scared for him. Still buying, bought another 125 million last week. But ultimately, this is kind of my thoughts. Maybe we'll talk about this on the GM show as well, see what other people's thoughts are. Ultimately, it's a proof of stake network. Ultimately, with all these, billions of dollars on whether it's tokenized assets, stock, real estate, whatever, ultimately, for that layer one to be secure, it's going to have to have enough value stake to secure that network, right? And it is, people are going to go there because they believe in they believe it's more secure, more decentralized, which it probably is. But ultimately, you have to have enough value stake to secure the network for all the value that's on there. So, hey, Coach Master, GM, all my friends here from X supporting me on YouTube. Appreciate it. Got Coach Master, Scott, Mr. Heine, and Steph all coming at me from YouTube. So appreciate that. Definitely helps over there as I'm getting, it takes a long time to get traction. I haven't made a real effort other than just this show, but I haven't tried to reach out to anyone or anything like that, but that's good. I know that just having these interactions, the chats and stuff definitely makes it more visible. But anyway, you look at how much is staked, about a third. You look at the price. I was kind of looking at some calculations over the weekend that really to secure all the value on the network with staked ETH, you're going to need about $6,000-$7,000 ETH ultimately, and there's still new stuff going there. So I don't know, just kind of rethinking that whole thing. Made me a little more bullish on ETH, just realizing that it's going to gain adoption. It's not going to like have a monopoly on or anything like that, but you still have to ultimately have enough value to secure the assets that are on there. So I think I don't know that we've seen the bottom of ETH, like maybe we haven't seen the bottom of Bitcoin, but I think it goes significantly higher. But anyway, there's ETH, a nice rebound today. XRP, $1.15.7, up 1.2% today. Solana, 74.62, up 1.4%. So it was actually higher. It hasn't bounced back as much as we've seen Bitcoin here and Ethereum. So it was a little higher over the weekend. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. I'll take that, all things considered. Look at some of the news, kind of, not bad considering everything. So unbelievable amount of, well, first off, yeah, RIP to Richard, Alan Greenspan, man, 100 years old. I think he was the Fed chair for like 19 years, like 4 or 5 or 6 presidents. It was crazy. I remember this guy. They used to come out with his briefcase, walk down the street, and they'd video him and stuff. But anyway, yeah, guy was around forever, just passed away at 100. Yeah, Coach Master, not a bad Monday, man. I'll take these pumps. Now this was crazy. Before we get into the JD news in the Iraq, this is crazy. Bank of America said it now expects the Fed to raise rates 3 times in 2026. I think this is nuts. But, they think they'll raise it September, October, December, and then up and getting it to 4.25 to 4.5 base points. And then they'll start to cut again next year. Wow. That's I don't see that. I really don't. But then again, I also don't know if I see cuts or anything like that either. But I think he's got these panels or these groups that are going to be looking how to redo the data and stuff. They may just well, not they may. I think they're going to totally redo how they're using the data, so that may change everything. But wow, I was kind of shocked to see this, to be honest with you. Bank of America predicting 3 rate hikes, man. That would definitely not be good for risk assets. Keir Starmer resigns. Trump tweeted about it. He's going to resign. Obviously, had some inside information. I don't know anything about it. All I know is I'm not too impressed with any of their politics, their immigration, their free speech, their law. Their how crazy they've been on these, they've been on these crime and stuff. And obviously, it's not even talking about crypto. So I don't follow it much. But anyway, he's out. Good, bad, I have no idea. Maybe Steph can give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, good, bad. I don't know. But yeah, they're going through it over there. Some really bad long-term immigration policies, long-term energy policies. I heard that they have like a $5 a gallon, like green energy global warming tax on their gas. I don't know. They pay by the liter over there, but man, I think it's equivalent to like $10 over here. I just put gas in yesterday, $4.75 for diesel. It's pretty good. So yeah, the whole JD Vance thing, this was crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen more lies, FUDs, all this stuff. That page there, coming at me from YouTube too, man. I'll have this rate. I'll have 38,000 followers over on YouTube. It's got to convert everyone from X. Also see a bunch of people listening live on X. So appreciate everyone here. But yeah, crazy weekend of absolute misinformation. Like, we know JD Vance, first it was canceled. He did delay it a day. We had Kushner and the other guy over there. Then JD Vance shows up. I mean, they were showing all kinds of different camera angles. This guy ignored him, wouldn't talk to him. They walked out. The straits are open again. They're mad at Trump because he made a mean tweet. It's just all kinds of massive misinformation. I just kept an eye on the Bitcoin price, and the charts didn't seem to change much. And like I say, today we're seeing everything being pretty chill. Yeah, NASDAQ now in the green, Dow up 0.5 point, S&P up 1/3 of a point. But yep, NASDAQ almost just right there flat anyway. But anyway, yeah. So it just all lies basically. We actually are seeing they saying a record amount of oil going through the Straits. So yeah, crazy. And this is just part of what we expect. But the propaganda, the social media back and forth, the news, especially Mario Nafal, man, he's got to be one of the worst. There's a few channels on X that it's just like so quick to jump on the false information, right? And anyway, who knows? You can't believe anything coming out of either side, to be honest with you. You just got to kind of keep an eye on the prices and the indexes and stuff. It kind of tells you what's going on. But nonetheless, he came out today pretty optimistic, said you guys made great progress in the talks. We should celebrate that. I watched his speech, came out and said they're making progress on several points. So we'll see what happens, right? Anything can change, obviously. But yeah. Anyway, that was kind of the big news. It was frustrating to watch. It was like all this gloom and doom, and the price didn't change. So I just kind of took it with a grain of salt. Went a couple big hikes. On Saturday, I went on a long hike, slipped coming down like on a rock, tweaked my knee. So I guess that was Friday night, late Friday night. Man, I went to the gym and rode the bike, couldn't even walk. I was hobbling around, couldn't walk. Looked like my knee had swollen up twice. I woke up yesterday and it was fine. I did put some magnesium oil, and I did put a brace, but it was crazy that I couldn't walk, go to bed. I wake up, I was fine, went hiking again last night. I did go put a brace on it, but I was crazy. I've never, like, I figured I was going to be, I literally almost pulled out the crutch. I literally couldn't walk. Like when I'd first stand up, I'd have to just kind of gip along. It's like crazy. It freaking healed itself so fast. But anyway, I'm back. About to hit the gym right after this. I've been doing 2 a day. So finally starting to feel like I'm in some, getting a little bit of, don't feel like I'm going to die every time. So that's a good thing. But anyway, yeah. So a couple things Michael Saylor said. First off, over the, all this FUD was crazy last week over the whole STRC thing. But he said, he came out and they said, Bitcoiners agree on 99% that matters. We should not let the 1% divide us. While nearly all global capital is yet to enter Bitcoin's monetary network, the opportunity is bigger than the argument. He came out with that. Then he came out over the weekend, looks better with more dots. Then early this morning, Strategy has increased its USD reserve by $300 million to 1.4 billion. Of course, that's the thing. He's going to have to sell Bitcoin to whatever. He's now sitting on 1.4 billion. He's added 400 or 500 million, $500 million basically in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, $500 million in the last 3 weeks. And they still, so now he's sitting on well over a year's worth of cash to pay the STRC. And it's realized because it got down to like $82. And that's why people were freaking out. But realize they're still paying the 11.5% on the $100. So it could have, I was saying, maybe it was even a good opportunity if you believed in it to buy it, probably end up getting 20+% because you got the increase from 82. Even already it's gone from 82 to 90. If it gets back to 100, now it does impede his ability because they don't use the STRC money to buy unless it's pegged at 100. This morning we just saw it up 3% at about 90, 91. But anyway, to kind of quell that FUD, they're now sitting on 1.4 billion. So that helps. And, recently, don't forget, they retired about 3 billion, 3 billion in long-term debt. They might have been better keeping that in cash, but he's still upside down. I think his average price around 74,000. Oh, but he also bought 520 Bitcoin for 35 million. Now to do this, they're probably selling equity or issuing bonds or whatever. So I don't know that, Anyway, they could also raise the interest rate on the STRC to gain more buyers and bring that back up. But anyway, it is what it is. I think it's premature at best and crazy. And this is what happens when you start to get towards the bottom. But I did hear Steph saying on the Scott show today, maybe we haven't hit max pain yet, though. And we might not have. Could we have bottomed? Yes. Or, most people think we're still going lower. Low to mid 50s. I heard people talking 40, 41. Who knows? I don't think we get down that low. I could, we might though. Keep in mind, nobody knows. It's all speculation, all just using our past experience and kind of projecting it to today's market, what's going on in the world. That's what we're here talking about every day. I had a great, I do just a little update on TikTok. Anthony Pompagnolo, our guy Pomp, did a good show yesterday. He's like, hey, if you choose the right assets, DCA the right good quality assets, you don't have to worry about tops and bottoms, calling tops, calling bottoms. And that's absolutely true. It's kind of what we go, but we're here every day, so we're going to talk about it. But anyway, a little premature, all the FUD with strategy, I thought, especially since he set it up so he can't get a margin call. Sol, call sheet traders think Sol is going to hit 85 this month. We'll see. We will see. Toss Bank in South Korea signed a memo of understanding to work with the Solana Foundation to test blockchain-powered cross-border payments and settlements. Like I said, it's $1 trillion a year market. Everyone's going after it, much like we are with CoinZoom. Bitcoin Fear and Greed at 20. It got to like 23 yesterday, 22, 23, up from 8, 10, 12. So, but now it's kind of settling in, but there is a lot of uncertainty over there. It is what it is. UK is softening its stablecoin rules, admitting they were too strict. So they're now moving towards, they got rid of the 10, 20,000 pound individual cap. But they're still going to keep a 40 billion limit on each stablecoin, and issuers can now hold 70% reserves in UK government debt, leaving 30% in non-interest bearing BOE deposits. They're basically realize they made a mistake, and they're trying to get this business and also trying to help compete against the US dollar stablecoins. World Cup today, action. We got Argentina versus Austria. Get to see if one goal, I believe Messi becomes the highest scorer ever in World Cup history. France versus Iraq, Norway versus Senegal, Jordan versus Algeria. That's what's on the docket today. French police arrest 4 suspects, crypto kidnapping, extortion plot near Marseille. A lot of that going on. Be careful. Don't be flexing too much. Right now, we're all so broke. I don't know why they're even wasting their time trying to steal people's worthless NFTs and shit coins. But anyway, be careful when you're posting out there. Don't be flexing too hard. Like I say, that's not a problem for most of us right now. But anyway, France seems to be the real place that's going on. ICE and OKX launch a joint venture to bring ICE, which ICE owns 21 different intercontinental. They own 21 different major exchanges, including New York Stock Exchange. But they want to tokenize the equity. So we talk about it every day. RWA tokenization. Yeah, you're right, Paige. When they realize stablecoins mean government security buying, they will love it. It's exactly why I think Trump's so pro. Got to who no one else wants your worthless bonds. Prediction markets hit a record 1.48 billion. Crazy. I mean, especially with the World Cup, I'm seeing and hearing all kinds of people betting on these games in different exchanges. MoneyGram becomes the Solana validator. Joins Solana developer platform. Obviously, everyone's looking to use that. Banks, money transmitters, everyone's looking to use, and once again, more reason to buy Solana, in my opinion. But I guess I have China changed to a more bullish stance on Ethereum when I look at how much money's needed to secure the network. Senate resumes their Bitcoin Crypto Clarity Act. I think there's a break after today. They come back for a few weeks, then they take a summer break. So, man, they got to get their stuff together. I think Trump's going to push it hard. We'll see what happens. Right now, Polymarket's showing it a 48% chance of clearing, and we shall see. And last but not least, a big Japanese corporate pension fund plans to invest 1% of its assets in cryptocurrency. I think that's what we continue to say. Who is Vasconcito? Is that I know is that Art? No, is that Artie? I don't know. It's someone that we know from there. I forget who. But anyway, good morning. Good morning. Some people have different. I made my handles the same, but sometimes I have a different handle as well on my personal YouTube account. But anyway, welcome everyone. I'll appreciate everyone from Twitter coming over, X coming over and supporting me. Also, a bunch of people listening live on X. But that's it. I think it's pretty good. But jump over to the GM Bitcoin Morning Show. Jump in, talk. Let's share your thoughts and then talk about some other stuff. We'll talk about World Cup, of course. See how our Ankita coin's doing. Some big sellers, but we got down into the low 50s, up to 80s. This has been the weekend, up, down, up, down. Look for Green Man to be throwing out some more content. Currently sitting at 62,000. And one last look at Bitcoin, see how we're doing. Oh, yeah, Fab. Sorry, dang, that makes sense. I didn't think it was already his actually. Yeah, Fab, man. Fab, join us over on our show. Let's hear get your Brazil perspective. A lot of talk on Scott's show today about who the greatest Pele. I remember Pele. And that, what's that other guy's Ronaldo? I don't know how to say his name. Yeah, some greats out. I believe he was from Brazil too. Yeah, good to see you, Fab. And 65, 522. So we're rocking, man. Nice. Look at this 1 hourly chart. Looking good, man. So, hey, we'll see what happens. I'll take it. Yeah. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Let's come over and geez. Oh, yeah, there we go. Anyway, we'll do that. But yeah, not a bad Monday, all things considered.